We'll
Are you looking for a man in a cupboard talking about things? Have I got the YouTube channel for you? What's it called?
Sheepdog Says.
Hello and welcome to MGP309. I'm Kevin. With me as ever, the Sheepdog, Anna and Pab. Say hello, boys and girls.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Tell you what, recording that intro and just playing it out every week was the best decision I ever made. It saves me so much time. I can just walk into this room, and as I hear Anna saying hello, I can sit down and start talking. Such a time saver. How are we all?
I'm marvellous. I enjoy finding new ways to say the word hello.
Yeah, you threw me with that sheepdog. I'm not
I
expecting
thought it
that
was
one.
falling down a well.
Yeah.
Or just falling over in general.
I was going for Adele in that song where she says hello, falling
I've
down
not
a
heard
well.
that song.
I can't remember what it's called. Is it
I think
hello?
it's Hello.
Yeah, that's... I wondered if it might have been, but I was going for that, her falling down a well.
Nice.
So you pretty much nailed it, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm. If nothing else, I'm good at judging what you're falling down.
I reckon most of our
Your
listeners will have probably pulled their headphones out in shock, thinking that Adele had fallen down a well near
I
them.
imagine they all stopped the podcast, dialed 999 to come and help get you out of the well.
If
one
Lass is
raised
listening,
that.
Lassie's barking her head off.
Yeah.
Was Lassie a boy or a girl?
Probably both at various points.
Yeah.
Well, a name like Lassie, I would suggest that's probably a feminine name.
Yeah. Well,
Anna
only to
tried to
Scottish
convince
people.
me the other day that Winnie the Pooh's a girl.
No.
No.
Winnie the Pooh is based on a girl bear.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, but Winnie the Pooh is a boy bear. I've met him.
But
This is pretty much the conversation me and Anna had for quite some time about Winnie the Pooh. I was getting quite upset about it.
check it if you don't believe me. Based on a girl bear.
But then we were sat in the cinema and the trailer for Christopher Robin came on and they described him as a he.
Yes,
And,
but if you look online,
I think if anybody knows,
I mean-
surely Christopher Robin knows.
Well, see, I'm in two minds. I've met him, as I mentioned, but he doesn't wear trousers, and you don't see any evidence.
Well, that's
of
the
him being
mark of a
man.
woman.
Well, I mean, if a woman doesn't wear trousers, there's not usually a penis there, Kevin. And Winnie the Pooh.
That's a massive generalisation on your part.
Yes,
Go on.
it is a slight generalisation, but yeah. I've never got answers to my question about whether Winnie the Pooh was murdered by Tigger.
Winnie the Pooh's still alive, so obviously he wasn't. And anyway,
Well, you say that, but
by her and
if you
honey
watch-
stains.
if you watched my vlog, which I know you don't, I've got video evidence of him being murdered by Tigger.
Nice.
And when I asked the question, the ride I was on broke down.
Interesting.
Just trying to silence you.
Exactly. They told me there was honey on the track and they made us stop filming and leave.
Seems reasonable. What hold on a second here. You took a camera out of that cupboard that you film in and filmed something out in the wild? I don't believe this for a second. That's proven that this story is a lie.
I've done tons of videos. Yes, some of them were in a cupboard while I was abroad, but there's a video of me getting on the Winnie the Pooh ride, filming all the way around it, going, hang on a minute, did he just die? And then I might have asked after the lights came on, but the lights came on. I was asking the questions anyway, and then the whole ride shut down and we were asked to leave. And it's all on film, if you care to watch it. But in that, I think I confirmed the gender of Winnie the Pooh. I also confirmed that Tigger murdered him.
And is Tigger a boy or a girl?
Yeah, well, I don't know that that's ever confirmed. I'm trying to go through the song about him now. I know his top's made out of rubber and his bottom's made out of springs.
Yeah. Well, because it's still early in the podcast, I do feel the need to just remind everybody that MGPX at EGX is quickly approaching. So if you haven't yet got your EGX tickets, you really need to be getting on there and heading over to the Fringe panel stage on the Sunday of EGX, where we're going to be doing a live Mature Gamer podcast, as it's being advertised as, because apparently no one's heard of MGP. It's going to be live at EGX at what time?
12
o'clock on Sunday of EGX. It's going to be remarkable. I suggest you all come along and tweet at us. Have we got like a podcast Twitter? That would be a handy thing to have.
I think it's
someone tweet at that and let
Maguk Podcast, isn't it?
Yeah, at MGUK Podcast. I'm sure Sheepdog probably still has it on his phone.
Don't
Let
think
us
you
know
need
if
to
you're going to be
spell
connected.
Yeah.
We want to know in advance that there's going to be at least like 8 people in the audience, so that we can just sort of manage our own expectations.
For anyone sat on the fence about whether or not they want to watch it, I have added Anna to the billing now.
I won't be on it.
Oh, you will?
Won't.
Don't say that in public. This is just to get you your badge. Of course Anna's going to be on it. I don't think there's any fear of them listening to us. They wouldn't have booked us in the first place.
One thing that's alarming is he does keep asking me what we're going to be doing. And
I
part
told
of me
you what
wonders,
we're going to be doing.
Did you?
Yes, we're going to be talking about what we've done at EGX. We're going to be reviewing. We're going to be doing our normal post EGX review of EGX show.
You understand what we do at EGX, right?
Yeah. I also understand we're heading over on the Friday this year to get all around the show floor. And
oh, okay, I need to look that off work then.
You probably should.
Yes, Sheepdog.
Yeah, we've got the hotel booked for Friday and Saturday night this time. We're doing this like professionals. But we're going to go and play a lot of games, have a lot of fun. And remember, we've only got a 45-minute slot. We're like 20 minutes into this podcast. We haven't even... no one knows what the topic of this is yet.
We just covered the gender of Winnie the Pooh. I mean...
Exactly. So email matey at EGX back and say, look, I'm not promising you video games, but we will talk about the gender of Winnie the Pooh.
And I'll take it.
What he thinks,
yeah, exactly. But we're going to talk about games. We'll talk about what we've played there, what we liked playing, what we're most looking forward to over the coming months. Anna will tell us what game she played in the hotel room on the Saturday. It'll be grand.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
We'll have bouncy there this week.
Oh, what? Don't know how he's getting there. I hope he's not expecting to come in. I think he's sharing a room with Sheepdog, he told me.
Another job. Sheepdog shared a room with me.
I did also get emails telling me that we'll be equipped with table, chairs, and a TV.
How many chairs?
That's very nice.
So you have a TV to put some shenanigans on if you want, but you have to bring your own laptop and cable, I think.
I ain't doing that. That sounds like a lot of work.
TV? What, like, it's just like old, like you used to do in school, and they just wheel it in?
This
doesn't make me wonder how big this room's going to be. I was expecting...
This is an audio podcast. We don't need a TV there.
Yeah, we don't
Why
need
have I got all this makeup and all these visual gags with me?
Because you're training to be a clown.
Okay.
So, yeah, we're going to be at EGX. It's going to be super. You should all come and you should tweet at MGUK Podcast and let us know you're going to be there. Let us know you're going to come along to the Fringe panel stage at 12 o'clock on the Sunday of EGX. Cheer us on, heckle us, and ask us questions for the Q&A that we're going to be doing. Or, if nothing else, laugh at us because we made a big deal of it and it sounds like we're doing it in a cupboard.
It does.
It's all right. Sheepdog likes doing it.
In a cupboard with an iPad mini with our slides on. But
Sounds
it'll
all
be
right.
lovely. So, I think this podcast is, just in case EGX are listening, and we've not put them off already, I think this podcast is supposed to be about video games. And I know for a fact, because she hoodwinked me into fetching it for her, that Anna has played a brand new release video game this week.
Okay.
Which she sold to me on the basis of, Kev, while you're out, because I was mooching around town,
in the comic shop,
finding GPS dead zones so that my Eevee could walk itself on Pokemon Go without me having to move. Did many kilometres this way, mooching around town, and I was just about to come home, and Anna said, "Kev, go to game. There's a new Left 4 Dead type game out that we can play together, but it's in Egypt." And I thought, oh, Egypt, who cares? But you had me at Left 4 Dead and played together. So I toddled over to the other side of town to go to game to pick it up, brought it home. And as I walked through the door, the first message was, I don't think you can do local co-op. And there's no local co-op. And is it like, Anna, tell me, is it like Left 4 Dead? Because I haven't touched it.
I don't know. I don't remember
Left Strange Brigade.
What was Left 4 Dead?
Left 4 Dead was brilliant.
I heard a tagline and I thought, I know you've played it.
You did play Left 4 Dead once because you fell asleep on your living room floor when you stood.
So it wasn't great then.
Left 4 Dead was probably the best game of its generation.
Yeah, it seems like more games should be like Left 4 Dead, but they're not.
4-player co-op, hour-long stories. There was like 4 or 5 hour-long campaigns that you'd play through as many times as you wanted to do. Punishingly ridiculous difficulty, but it was all about the 4-player co-op and just a short 2-hour session of just brilliance. Left 4 Dead was as good as gaming gets. So this has a lot to live up to. Tell us about Strange Brigade.
So it's set in the 1930s, and it's what I can gather is a bunch of English dudes and dudettes, and they are called the Strange Brigade. And it is 4-player, but they all have to be online. You can't, like Kev said, you can't do co-op.
Which I later discovered is because this is by the Sniper Elite people, who we know are a bunch of racists anyway, because they don't believe colourblindness exists. Now they don't believe that 2 people can play games in the same house, because they're racists. But carry on, Anna.
Apparently. Okay, and so you're in Egypt, and something has gone amiss. Someone has woken somebody up that they shouldn't have woke up, and you are sent to... I guess to sort it out. Not quite sure because I only got like halfway through it. But yeah, so it's 4 players. You get this 4 different people that you can play as. There's like a African voodoo woman, I believe, and a woman who's from Manchester who likes big guns and like
warm hugs.
Yeah, grenades, and then there's another guy that likes faster, like machine gun kind of things, and then this other guy that I haven't really looked at. And basically you pick a person, and then you go on these little missions. Each mission starts with a very short video about where you're going and what you're going to do. And you go in, and it's basically just a big linear set piece. You go A speed, but there is off bits where you can go and do puzzles, get more ammo, more treasure. There is different paths to get through this area. So you've got the high road or the low road. You can do one side, then go and do the other if you feel like it. And it's all right. It's good. It looks nice on the Pro. Obviously, I've not played it on the other PlayStation because that's outside.
The weird thing that I noticed when I was watching you play it for a little while is that if you're not playing online with loads of people, you don't have the other 3 characters there. It is just you.
No, it is. Isn't it? Yeah, it's
no
AI.
AI.
No, not at all.
Wow.
So when you're on your own, it's easier. The more people that come in, the harder it gets, which is fine because I've got to about the 4th level kind of place. And it is a little bit hard, but not like where I can't do it. So I'm getting through that. But like each area has like a school level, and I think like the maximum is 3. The ones I were doing were at 2. I think there's 9 missions. I think possibly 8. But yeah, I've played like 4 levels of it. There's also a horde mode, so it's basically but you're put into like an arena that's like one of the places you've been, and you just get wave after wave of baddies, and then you get like a big guy baddie, and then you have to take him down. I played that for a little while. It's just jump in, jump out. You don't have to be in it all the way through. People can come and go, and that's fun. Like, so you don't have to feel like you have to sit through every single one.
So is that online only?
Yeah, I believe so. It came up, it just said Horde, and I was like, I'll have a go at that, which is fine. You can also quick jump into other people's games for 10 minutes and just go and help them what they're doing. And the voiceover is excellent. He's very British, and he just like I was standing still for a minute, and he like the man noticed that I was just standing and not moving. He's like, well, you can move or you can take a break. And I was like, oh, hold on a minute, I'm just doing this. When you go to a pause, it goes that you're taking a rest and you're looking at other ways and stuff, and that is quite funny. And then there is a score attack mode. I haven't gone into that, but I believe you have to do at least one level, and then you can go back and do the score attack and, I don't know, get the highest score, I guess. I don't know. I've not been there. But yeah, that's Strange Brigade. Very good, very
and
fun.
After all these years, they still haven't added a colourblind mode.
They have not, no.
No?
I still don't believe colourblindness exists. Which still
I'm
offends
wondering.
me.
I'm wondering, if you'd got this out on Xbox, could you both have played it together then?
Possibly,
Why?
I don't know. Because we did with Gears of War, didn't we?
That's because we had the Play Anywhere jobby. It was a code, wasn't it? It was a Microsoft own one.
Yeah.
Microsoft own brand game, that was. But yeah, this, I don't know, it upsets me that they still don't put in a colourblind mode. Even Fortnite has a colourblind mode. Even Fortnite.
You're only pretending to be colourblind anyway, though.
Beside the point, I want them to put in a mode for people who pretend to be colourblind like me.
Pretend.
Yeah.
I was doing a quick Google during that review for games like Left 4 Dead. The only one I can find that sounds remotely like it is Earthfall, and I don't remember whether that's... It looks a bit rubbish from the pictures. But if anyone's heard of that, is it any good? And people should recommend games to us that like Left 4 Dead, because I'm also...
Oh, it's like Aliens. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's like Left 4 Dead with aliens. I remember this now.
But I want to play Left 4 Dead now, and I'm assuming you can't on an Xbox One.
Yes, you can. I think it's backwards compatible.
Well, I mean, without
or
buying
just
it.
play it on your PC, which
PC.
surely you still own it on.
Yeah, but my PC isn't on. I'd have to play it on my laptop, which
Turn it
probably
on.
can't play it.
Just plug your PC back in. It worked when you were playing it on there 10 years ago. It will still work now.
Probably will.
Definitely will, unless you've set fire to half the components.
Maybe I did. What of it?
Oh, then you can't play Left 4 Dead, you buffoon.
Okay. I played more of Mario Odyssey in the week, and I thought it was really good when I first played it, but I absolutely bloody love it now.
Oh, yeah.
There's just so much to it, just so much. It's ridiculous how much stuff there is to it. I mentioned last week that I didn't realise how deep the first level was. I'd kind of done enough to get to the next world. Thought I'd done everything, and then I spent another couple of hours in just the one place. But I've done the same thing now with the sand level, the water level, and the forest level. With the forest level, I was very shocked because I accidentally went flying over the edge, thought I was going to die, and it turns out there's a hole underneath the forest world. It's very clever. I thought it was very, very clever how they basically made it. They've just made it perfect. I'm assuming the only way you'd figure it out is if you just made a mistake. You don't think, I'm just going to throw myself over the edge here and explore this whole world underneath. I just happened to mistime a jump, and that was it. I was sent away, and I just thought that's really clever, because someone who's great at the game would probably easily miss that and just jump around at the top thinking, I don't know what to do, because there's no inclination that you can go to the bottom. There's probably a pipe somewhere that I missed, but I just went flying over the edge, landed in a heap, and got on with it. And yeah, hours of fun. I'm enjoying playing it with Bosco still. He just sort of sits there telling me things he remembers as and when he remembers them, and he starts lecturing me, turn left, go up here, do this, look at that, and I do it all, and I'm like, oh bloody hell, I've got another couple of moons. How did he know? Yeah, it's very, 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 very fun. I mean, we all know Mario games are well made, but this just seems next level. I'm loving the fact that I didn't realize the first two levels, but they expect you to go to the worlds. They've all got their own shop in that world, and you have to buy a costume, and that costume allows you to go in and do a specific world challenge. The underwater one was a bit weird because you bought a rubber ring and a head, whatever it is, snorkel.
Mm-hmm.
They opened the door and you just walked in and got the moon from a mannequin. It was all dry, and then you walk back out, and I think I've been dressed as that Mario since. I mean, like the Woodland World, still with a rubber ring and a snorkel on, because that's Mario now to me. But no, I like it. It's just, there's so much to do in it. It's brilliant, and I want to complete it because I don't want to sit here talking about Mario Odyssey every week for the rest of time. But equally, I don't.
How many moons have you
got? I don't know, 40, 50. I can't remember now.
Do you know how many there actually are?
Oh, I don't know how many.
400.
400. Okay, cool. Well, I knew I was early days in it. I'm only.
No, I'm just saying you might be a while.
Bosco was talking about some really, 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 really high island you have to go to that involves. I'm assuming it must involve having like 300 and something moons. It's hard to know what he's talking about. Sometimes it feels like he's talking in riddles, but he said you have to go to this island that's really far away and do a really hard level, and then there's a moon on it. I'm looking forward to getting to that.
Sounds possible.
Yeah. What else did I do that I was kind of surprised by on it? I mean, it's just loads. Every time I feel like, hang on a minute, I see what's going on here. I try and follow a random thought I've had, and I go down the route, and suddenly I've got an extra moon or two, and I'm like, this game is just ridiculous. It shouldn't. I don't know. I just feel like I'm very in tune with it at the moment. That's great. That and Mario Kart have been dominating all my time. My kids are obsessed with Mario Kart at the moment, to the point where they had a day off with Mr. Sheepdog the other day while I was at work, and they played something like I think it was a 28 race Mario Kart tournament, which is, I don't know how many laps, whatever 28 times 3 is. But yeah, I was like, that is a very well spent day, if you ask me. When they're asked what they did over the school holidays, that should probably be up there, along with going to America. They should be quite evenly ranked. I also tried to play Shenmue, but felt Shenmue? Yeah, I said the right one. And I felt so sick. I'm just not sure what to do. Yeah, I need to buy the sturgeons, whatever they're called. I know that, but I just haven't had a chance to go to a pharmacy because they're not open normal times. But I feel so bizarre having to buy Chavosic tablets to play a game. But I will do, because I want to complete it. I feel like it's something that's kind of, it's a blight on my game.
Have you tried not playing it in a moving car?
No, I feel like that's just the way it should be enjoyed. That's what they recommend.
Yeah, fair enough.
But no, it's one of those irritating things where you're like, I'm hoping that I'll just get through it and get used to it and become accustomed to it, because I can kind of train myself out of it for, like, when Battlefields were coming out and everyone was playing them and it was the big game that the whole community was playing. I could kind of push myself through it after time. It was worth it for the community sort of event that we were doing. But since we've stopped doing them, there's no real effort involved in me wanting to play stuff. I don't really have the incentive to bother.
Splendid. Pab.
Yeah, though.
What on earth have you spent your week doing?
What have I spent my week doing? My usual fortnight.
No, just the week.
I was going to say, we all had a week, Pab had a fortnight.
Yeah. I played some more Fortnite. I did all the challenges possible in the game up till yesterday when the new set came out. And now I don't think I've done that before. After playing the last 2 seasons, I've never just completed all the challenges, waiting for the next week to turn up. So I've done that. It's not been a bad week on Fortnite. I don't think I've had any victories this week, though. No, I don't think I have.
Is that because you were
I
playing?
know. I've literally, the amount of third and second places though have been, I'd probably say, at least probably 40 to 50% of them have been second and third place finishes. So I'm getting there.
First loser.
Just executing the
People that you're playing against.
Oh yeah. The main game the other game that I've been playing is 2 Point Hospital.
Ooh.
2
questions. How much is this, and will it work on a Mac?
I managed. How I don't know about a Mac Sheepdog. You'd have to look it up. It's on Steam. It's about between 20 and 25 quid. I managed to get it for about 15. I got it for about 15 off a website from the United Arab Emirates, apparently. But it was all legit and it all worked. I don't know. It was an offer that I saw come up on Twitter, and I went, well, you know what? That's probably about the right price for that game. I'll get it.
Can you type in a fax machine a number and then press Control C and it tells everyone that you're cheating while giving you loads of money?
No. Why is that something you could do?
What's the point of this game?
What?
This is the Theme Hospital clone, isn't it?
Yes. It's not. Well, it's
literally unplayable if it doesn't
successor.
have that. What's it called? 2 Point Hospital?
2 Point Hospital, yeah. It came out this week, I think, Thursday of this week? Yeah, just gone. And it is very much what I remember of Theme Hospital. So you start off, I mean, I don't remember Theme Hospital. I feel like I just got set off in the world and went, off you go. Here's the money, do what you want. But this one, it kind of has challenges and like, similar to the Jurassic World Evolution game. You start off at a certain hospital, you've then got to work up to get a certain star rating on that hospital before you can move on to the next one. You then move on to the next hospital and it gives you a whole new set of challenges to do within that hospital. There's obviously new like, build your rooms to build, new sicknesses to cure, new other problems that come up to you in each level. It goes harder and harder. I've only done the 2 hospitals so far because I feel like I got to a certain point in the first one. I was like, initially just went, come on to the next one. I went, no, I'm going to stay here for a bit. Just get myself set up right here. And then I kind of grew out of it, to be fair. I kind of got to the hospital. I couldn't go anywhere else with it. So I went, right, let's move on to the next one. And the next one's slightly bigger. And then I grew out of that one. And it goes, one of the challenges is expand your hospital. And there's like another build site on the right side of it. So you can build a new wing of the hospital. So we've got loads of room now. And there's also, it is very tongue-in-cheek, kind of wacky, similar to something like Theme Hospital. I think there was.
See, I'm looking through it, and I feel like it doesn't have the graphical charm, and there isn't an infinite money. I'm looking at it, Pab. There isn't the infinite money cheat. So, I mean, that's where that game.
Say Sheepdog. I've not even got to like a sandbox mode, so there might even be infinite money on the sandbox mode.
I've just googled how to get infinite money. There is no.
See, I don't know. But at the minute, when I'm doing these challenges, it's very casual, very like calming. It's not like high stress. There's a bit of pressure there for you to do certain challenges.
Is there a sarcastic receptionist that comments on your poor gaming ability?
No, but I did see a janitor go for a wee in a bush.
See, so they've kept the janitors the same, but they've left out the receptionist.
I've not been paying attention to the janitors because the janitor just put on the reception desk, and they pretty much go from the reception desk to the break room, and then that's about it. They just put her between the two. I don't really pay attention. I'm more concerned with the doctors, who are like, I'm
the worst hospital manager in the world.
Fine.
Who cares about the doctors? Worry about the janitors.
I care about the doctors because I'm always on a shortage of doctors. I have set up 3 receptionists up so that they could just rotate constantly. That's all I need. But I constantly need doctors, and I'm forever going to rooms and there's no doctor in there, and then there's like over a little tannoy system goes, doctor needed in the whatever department.
And who's operating the tannoy system, Pab?
Well, the receptionists. Exactly, but I've sorted them. Exactly. There's 3 of them on the go. They've got a little receptionist union going. They're all good.
Yeah, I mean, if someone said to me, right, where do we start? We're making a Theme Hospital game. Mm-hmm. I'd be like, right, you need to get the receptionist. You can't have a hospital until you've got a receptionist.
Oh, you can't do anything. Literally, the first thing you do is you put down a receptionist desk and you hire a receptionist. That is all you do.
So are you playing with the sound off? Is that what you're telling me?
No.
So she doesn't make comments over the tannoy?
I don't know. I suppose she probably does. Actually, yes, she does make comments over the tannoy.
Okay,
you're right.
It's just that critical gameplay.
She does make comments. I thought you meant like speech bubbles come off.
There's 8 examples of comments she's made, Pab. Come on now.
There's one about saying taking no responsibility for death or something like that. There's some sarky remark about.
Okay, I'm starting to warm to it now. I mean,
I tell you what, there's one illness came in, right, where it's got something like mock star or something like that, where they all these patients come in and they think they're like pretentious rock stars, and they all come in dressed like Freddie Mercury.
Do they all have beards and glasses like Kev?
No, they all have little. They're dressed like Freddie Mercury. They look like Freddie Mercury when they come in, and they start dancing around and singing in the waiting room, and they have to go into like a psychiatrist, have a chat with them, come out cured, and just come out like a guy with like a normal haircut and just a vest on or something like that. It's just like it's so. There's some real quirks to this game.
I'd like to have it on record that Sheepdog just used having beards and glasses as an insult, despite having both of those things himself.
Yeah.
I mean, there is some. I remember like the old theme hospital where you'd have the guy that come in with a like balloon head and stuff like that, and he'd have to pop his head and what have you. There's one where the guy comes in as a light bulb head, and they have to put him in this machine. And there's one that's got a pan stuck on his head, and I watched the machine do this today because I was like, I want to see what this machine actually does. So the guy goes in this machine with a pan on his head, and this magnet comes along, and it yanks it off, and then it tosses him across into this little couch type thing. I was like, yeah.
Do you know what I've just realised? And it's only because I saw a picture, and I went right. Does this one let you refer people to the autopsy room? Because I've never thought about it until now, but referring a live person to the autopsy room isn't a good move. But I used to send pretty much everyone to the autopsy room to diagnose them.
I've not unlocked that yet. I've not unlocked an autopsy room yet.
It was like a machine that they laid down and got into, but never came out of, funnily enough. And Jesus, that was dark.
Yeah, I've not.
Well, you see like a blind person talking to a psychiatrist when you knew they only really needed to go to the pharmacy. Anything to get more money out of them.
I don't know, Sheepdog. There probably is stuff like that in there. The further into the game, the next hospital is available for me to do. So I will probably outgrow this one, and then I'll just be like, right, okay, I'm moving on to the next hospital now and see what challenges they throw me there. But this hospital has been a challenge this time. First hospital was relatively straightforward, all the challenges they throw me, and then occasionally you'll have like a health inspector turn up, and you're like, or a radio reporter turned up and they were impressed, and I got a load of money. And I keep every like so often they'll do like a yearly award system, and what they do is there's like an award show goes on, and you get like this little envelope comes up, and then your name pops out, and you go, yeah, we've got the doctor of the year, and it's this such a doctor that works at your hospital, and it's like nurse of the year. It's just I liked that, just seeing how well I'm doing. I didn't win all the awards, obviously. That's
the female hospital thing, isn't it? That's to like cleanest hospital. Yeah, you can earn like $10,000 a pop or whatever.
Yeah, you get money for it. You get money for each award you win and each challenge you complete. But I've not had a problem at all with money wise at all. Not an ounce of problem with money. I've like every time you hire someone, I've just like hired the best person every time. Like they're on $30,000 a year straight away. Like, yep, get them in. I'm not hiring a junior doctor or anything. No, I'm not. There's like some of the doctors, like junior doctors, you can hire them for like $14,000, and you're like, well, I'm just hiring the best one on this list available to me straight away with the attributes that I need. Put them in this room. Yeah.
I sent you a YouTube clip of what I was referring to with the money cheat and that. If you tried any cheat, the receptionist would call you out on it during the game. And I was just hoping for the nostalgia. I wanted there to be cheats, but there are.
There really might be, but I don't see anything right now. I mean, I'm expecting it to be a sandbox mode in there at some point. There's got to be. I just don't know, like when that is going to be. You might have to complete a certain number of challenges, similar to Jurassic World, where you have to get to a certain number of islands before you could unlock sandbox mode. So I don't know, but I kind of enjoy it. It's very calming. The music is very whimsical and akin to something like Theme Park or Theme Hospital. So it's very just calming, and I've played probably like 2 or 3 hours now. And like I say, I was playing on it before we started the podcast, and I was just playing it. I realised it was 9 o'clock, and I was like, I better get it going because I just completely lost track of time. I could have spent all night on it. Sorry, Kev?
Better get my podcast trousers on.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So yeah, that is 2 Point Hospital. I'm sure there will be more of that to come up because I expect I'll play more of that in the coming weeks.
I had planned on getting it, and then I realised how much it was and how close to Spider-Man it was, and thought, actually, I'm not going to get.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on getting it.
Love it deserves.
I was not planning on getting it, but then I saw an offer for it on this website, and it was 15 quid. And then for a certain amount of time yesterday, tea time, it was 13 quid on the same website, and I was annoyed. But I can't be annoyed too much. So yeah, it's superb.
Splendid. Anna, I know we spoke about Strange Brigade, but what else have you been playing this week?
I don't know.
What are you playing right now, Anna?
Oh, I'm playing Divinity Original Sin 2 again. But this is
somehow this has been released again. I get very confused with this game because you seem to have played this 8 or 9 times now.
So I've put like 87 hours, I think, into when it came out. I think that's the longest I've put into a PC game in my life. And then it got released on consoles yesterday, I believe, and that meant PC players got the Definitive Edition for free. So everything has been prettied up and extra things have been added. So I started because when you start the game, you can pick either to play the first edition that came out or play the Definitive Edition, and I picked the Definitive Edition, which means I can't play my old save unless I pick that game. But I wanted to play it, and I wanted to see what was in it. So I started again, and as soon as I started it was different because when you woke up before, you'd wake up in a room where there'd be the people that are imprisoning you, and you talk to them. This time, you wake up and you're on the lower deck, and it gives you a tutorial level to go around to work out how to use like pressure plates and how to fight somebody, just like basic tutorial stuff for the game. And you just go around it and end up at the place that you started. I thought that's kind of cool. And then I came out of there, and then it started the game where I first started it back in September maybe last year. I've just been going through it. I've met like new characters. There's like a squirrel. Don't know what he's for, but it's a squirrel on I don't know what he's riding, but he's riding a skeleton animal. I don't know what he does.
Squirrels often do.
But I think I think his story mission. So basically, like when you're on the ship, there's like 8 people that you can talk to that are who can be your companions. And this time I've picked 4 that I didn't have last time. But this squirrel I just met on the beach, and now he's just following me. But he's not a part of my group. He doesn't help me in any way. But he's following me. I'm not sure why, but he's there. But everything else I've come across is pretty much the same. Though I'm finding it a little bit hard how to get out of the first area. I know there's lots to do, but like I don't want to be in this area because I spent a lot of time in this area before. I want to go to the bigger areas where there's more stuff to do. And because when you start the game, you can only do certain things in like your magic, because they have said no to your bigger magic, so you only have basic stuff. And I'm like, I want to do all the good stuff and I have the good effects and stuff. But I'll wait. I'll just play for it for now.
So presumably this has now got controller support, has it, on PC? Wasn't this?
Oh yeah, it's complete controller. I'm playing the controller. Like I tried to set it up on the what's that thing called over there?
Steam Link.
Yeah, I tried to set it up there, and it was working for a while. But then I tried to, change my name, and it bugged out big time. So I thought, I'll just, if I can hold a controller the seat's quite comfy. I just would rather do it on the on my recliner. But Kev says just get a really long HDMI to go across
I mean,
the
yeah,
room.
you're only like, I don't know, 3 yards away from the PC. Just a 5-meter HDMI cable's plenty, and then you do away with a stupid Steam Link.
Oh, excuse me. Well, it's got 4K now on PC, and the PC is capable of that, and I have a 4K TV. This screen is not 4K, and it annoys me that I've got like a massive screen over there that it would look amazing on, and I can't use it because it's over there, and it's so real. But like in a couple of months, I will be like sitting here writing out essays, so it's not immediate. And I've got Spider-Man next week, and then the week after that I've got Tomb Raider, so it's not like I desperately need it now. I've got enough things coming my way to be getting on with, but I am super excited for Spider-Man and for Tomb Raider. But apart from them two, there's not much else out in September that I've looked at that really interests me. Like, yes, I want Red Dead, and yes, I want Fallout, but I don't think there's anything else I want this year. So yeah, been playing. Why do you keep saying wow?
I thought Tomb Raider was out at the end of the month.
No, it's like not.
It was EGX week. I don't know why. It's Friday after.
Yeah.
Damn, another game I'm gonna have to get.
Yeah,
Gonna have to
get it, don't you?
I do like Tomb Raider. I've finished Tomb Raider in the last 2 weeks. The most recent one.
I still haven't started the previous one yet. I should probably get on that.
Rise of the Tomb Raider. I finished the DLC 2 weeks ago. Brilliant. Superb game it is.
Don't have time for these video games these days.
But you want to play Spider-Man?
I'm going to stream that. That's how I'm going to launch the Lelujo 2. I'm going to stream it and put stream highlights on my new channel. That's my plan. So if you haven't subscribed to Lelujo 2 yet, everybody, you should go do that. I don't think it has URL yet because it's too new.
Lelujo 2? Is it TOO?
No, as in
number 2.
Number 2.
Okay. All right. Just check.
That's where he's putting all his poop videos.
Yeah, all the ones that wreck the algorithm and stop me getting Football Manager views.
I wasn't reviewing them by calling them poop.
No, they are.
Everything
that's not Football Manager, that's gaming, will go on that channel. It will largely be Twitch replays and stuff like this.
like
Spider-Man stuff.
1,500 kilometers. Kilometers?
Yeah, I have 1,500 kilometers.
I can't speak. 1,500 subscribers. Say.
Splendid. So, yeah, that will have some videos on it soon. One of which will be, or many of which will probably be Spider-Man, because I think my plan is just to stream that and then chop it up into chunks and slap it on there as well, so people can enjoy it, not live if they so choose. But I am very excited about Spider-Man. I am a little bit worried that me and Anna are going to argue about it a lot.
No, it will come. I will play it in the morning, and you can play it in the evening.
Interesting.
Why is that interesting?
Because it is. Splendid.
Are you taking it off me? Is that what you're saying?
No. The only game I've played this week, apart from Football Manager, which I play most weeks, I don't know if I've mentioned, is a little game called Pokemon Go, which I don't know if anyone's familiar with this one. I think Sheepdog, you'd probably quite enjoy it if you gave it a try.
Does sound like something I might like.
Yeah.
I still find it weird, you being at my raids.
Oh, no, I came back from because when we were at the one at the weekend, when I was sat there in my car and you just arrived, I came back and said to Anna, Sheepdog was just really weird. He wasn't like Sheepdogs, he was around normal people. He was acting like a person rather than like Sheepdog.
I didn't know whether to talk to you because not like that, but like I needed to talk to the other people about things they'd asked me about in our little group we've got. And then when I arrived, I wanted to chat to you because I hadn't seen you in ages, so I was completely mugging them off. But then I felt really like I had to at least acknowledge they were there. This one, I was just trying to make small talk, and it didn't work. It was all Pokemon related and felt really awkward.
It is fun. My new favourite thing is following Sheepdog around with his Pokemon friends, making them all feel weird.
We ended up talking about what the park was like 20 years ago.
Yeah, we did.
And it's just like, what?
It's amazing. It's my new favourite thing.
It is odd.
But yeah, that's it. I played Pokemon and Football Manager because that's all I have time for.
I gave Kev an American Pokemon earlier, Anna. I need to trade you one at some point.
Why didn't you do it then?
Because you can only do one a day.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I didn't know he had your phone, otherwise I would have offered to trade you first, like a gentleman.
I also didn't know I had Anna's phone, or else I would have
Yes, you
suggested
did.
that as well.
You were taking it out. You kept asking me.
It was the first time Anna's ever let me bring her phone out to a raid because she hasn't got any of the Reggies yet. And what would she do without a Reggie, sheepdog?
I know, it's...
I don't like him with my phone because he'll drop it. I've seen the amount of times he drops his own.
Yeah, but yours has got the little hook on the back, so it's harder to drop.
You still did it a few times, didn't you?
I was juggling with them both at one point.
He was. It was
entertaining my new crowd.
That was fun. There's a raid day next week on Saturday.
There is.
I'm driving around Deeping with Phil's wife, apparently.
Driving.
After you left, he said, "Are you doing the raid thing next week?" I was like, "Yeah." And he went, "Would you mind driving his wife around because she's like 7 months pregnant and their son really wants to do it, but he's at work." So he's just said, "Well, I drive them around Deeping." And I was like, "Well, it gives me an excuse not to walk it. So if you want to follow behind me in another car, you can do the raids with me."
I'm not driving it. I'm not lazy. This is my get fit regime playing
Well,
Pokemon.
I was kind of doing a halfway in between. I was going to drive into the middle of town, so my car wasn't too far away from like 5 of the gyms, and then I was going to drive to the other ones. But now I'm just going to be driving from gym to gym, apparently. I can always just drive where you walk and meet you between them.
I will consider my route for the day. Because the last one of these, I happened to be in St Albans that day. And I tagged along with some St Albans people for part of the day. And they had this ridiculously planned out using best route simulations and Google Maps. And they did something like 27 raids over the course of the morning. Wow. It was insane. It was all planned out with military precision. So I don't know if I can slum it with you hobos and just do 4 or 5.
No, because we've kind of gone better than that because we've gone to the point where we worked out there was only 5 gyms in Deepin. So now there's 1, 2. We've added about 15 over the past 6 months. So I think we're probably better than your military folk because we've actually.
I don't know. Might just drive down to St Albans for the day. Take Anna out for a road trip. Do you want to go to St Albans next weekend, Anna?
No.
Oh,
I'm
hanging out with Sheepdog then. Oh, does that mean I can just go out for the full 3 hours if you're playing Spider-Man?
Do what you want.
Right, I'm coming out to play, Sheepdog. I am coming out to play. I've got 38 raid passes.
Why have you got 38 raid passes?
I bought like 3 ultra boxes and they all came with raid passes. And I don't do raids very often. I wanted the incubators. So
they're quite a bit.
It was cheaper to buy the boxes than it was to buy the individual incubators at the time. This was ages ago, like months ago, 6 weeks ago or so. So
did you go and do something stupid like buy all the coins for the amount that they offer them for? Because if you buy them 100 at a time, it's dramatically cheaper.
I don't know what that means.
Well, if you look at the numbers, it's 79p for 100 or a fiver for 500. Well, 550. Really? But yeah, it doesn't work out right. You have to buy them 100 at a time to work out right.
I don't recall.
Either way, we know what happens.
I have raid passes to burn.
I don't think I do. I think I'd probably do 7 and then go home.
27. You can't let the people. Are you actually willing to admit that the people of St Albans are better than you?
I'm willing to admit they make poor life choices. Nobody in the universe needs 27 Articunos or Zapdoses. But then I am saying that from a position of wealth because I already have 3, 6, 7, 8, including a 100% one and a couple of shiny ones.
Look, I followed this lot around for an hour and leveled up twice. They knew what they were doing.
How many 100% Zapdoses do they have, though?
I don't know.
None.
Believe it or not, Sheepdog, I didn't stay in touch with them all.
You should have asked them. That should be your first question.
I'd been playing Pokemon Go again for about 3 days at that point. I didn't know what a raid was. I was just bored. There was a group of people, so I followed them. I didn't talk to any of them. I was just hanging around 3 meters behind them at all times. And when they started looking at me, I wandered off to do something else.
They're probably
Which is a bit of a worry that I managed to hang out with them for nearly an hour.
I can't believe you have 30 raid passes in your possession.
Yeah, so I'm going to go and do some raids. I joined the Peterborough Discord today, so I can go and do it in Peterborough if I have to. See if they do 27.
They might do. They're all right in that. They do take it a bit seriously.
Yeah, I had to send them a driving license and all sorts.
What?
Well, picture of my character. But it was basically my driving license, my Pokemon driving license.
No.
Yeah. That's how they can keep track of whether you're a spoofer or not.
I don't know what that means.
My God. What is going on?
But if they're standing in the middle of a field taking a gym down and then old Kev appears in the gym after they've taken it, but there is no Kev in sight because you're standing in an open field, then that confirms he's a cheater. It's happened to me a couple of times. I've been sat there. Huh?
I don't mean that. I mean the fact that we've been 50 minutes has passed and we're still talking about Pokemon Go.
It's a very, very deep game.
Basic game.
Yeah, Pab. You're playing it every day. I get my little gift from you every day.
That is all I do. I play for 5 minutes.
I'm playing it all the time.
I'm not going around doing raids and stuff. I don't even know how to do a raid.
Well, we'll teach you. Come to Deepin next weekend. Sheepdog's driving me, you, and a pregnant woman.
And her son and my son around, so I need a bigger
It's
car.
a bigger car. Me and Pab are coming with you.
No, I'm very impressed that you're suddenly into it. Will you be into it in a month's time when it gets cold out?
Oh, I doubt it.
Yeah. It's the only thing that frustrates me.
I was a little bit disappointed when I went out this evening. I had to put a hoodie on. I was in two minds.
There's this woman who's trying to boss everyone around about how to run it all at the moment in our group and telling us what to do. And it's like, you're not going to be here in a month because you appeared a month ago. And you just she's just someone she's probably from St Albans, ultra organised, trying to act like we all need to do what she says. And it's like, we've all practically completed the game, love. But she's just bossy. It's frustrating. She's the one who put up earlier, this raid's just hatched down the road, info only, because what she was basically saying was she wasn't going to it. She just wanted to let us know because she's better than us, but she's not.
That sounds really helpful. I wish people did that more often. I can't see the raids over that side of town from where I live. I can only see the one near me.
Well, you should probably join a Facebook chat group.
I did. You're all nerds.
No, we're all in our own private one that you're not in. Where we talk
What's
to
the
each
point
other.
of the fake public one then? Why does that exist?
Because once you've proven yourself in the normal one, you're invited to the other one. But because I know you won't be,
what a bunch of losers!
you won't be around in a month, so I've not put you in it yet.
Too right, I won't.
if you're there in October, I might let you join it.
I don't want to join your little private club.
You do.
I do not.
You absolutely do. You'll be starting your own one with that annoying woman who asked if anyone fancies starting a Facebook group, like a private one. So a few of us joined it, and it was just we left straight away, basically.
Why did everyone keep talking about Pokemon Go?
No, it was just bossing everyone around.
At least she doesn't have a secret group she doesn't tell anyone about.
But no, it was her secret group. That's what I'm saying. She started her own secret group and invited us to it, and then she just bossed everyone around, so we left.
Oh, goodness me. I didn't realise this game was so political.
It's not political. It's just casuals turning up.
Oh, how dare they. People enjoying the summer with a little bit of Pokemon. Scumbags, eh?
No, only when they're trying to act in charge.
Well, some of us are just natural born leaders, sheep. I've got my own private group, by the way. If anyone wants to join a private group with me, hit me up and we'll set that up and we'll have a private We'll have a private Sheepdog Won't Let Us Play group, we'll call it. Sheepdog thinks he's better than us Pokemon group.
Yeah. I am better than you.
That's what you think. I've walked more EV miles with you this week.
You haven't. I just wasn't on the mission when I walked mine. I've got
anyway.
three bloody Eevees ready to evolve. but I've got to wait till I've walked 20 kilometres before I can evolve any of them.
I've already walked most of my kilometres. So who's better than who now, eh?
Me still.
Hey.
I've got them all.
You haven't, though, have you?
Well, except Celebi.
Oh, wow, there we go. Interesting. Interesting. So, movies. Anna took me to the pictures this week. Did you know, using Meerkat Movies and Anna's student ID card, me and Anna went to the pictures for £8.60 for the two of us? What a wonderful world we live in. Okay. In the nice recliner chairs, lovely and comfortable. Had my B&M snacks with me. I got a £1 box of Mike and Ike. It was the cheapest trip to the cinema we've ever been on. It was wonderful. We saw Ant-Man and the Wasp. That was also wonderful. What a time to be alive.
The film that we're not allowed to watch.
You've already seen it.
How would you know that?
Because you told me.
Did I?
You said you were going to see it. I said you're not allowed to. You said, well, I'm going anyway. So we thought we'd go too.
Yeah. So I'm the only one who stuck to our rule then.
Well, Pab broke it first.
I didn't know there was a rule.
Apparently so.
You're all not getting invites to this group now.
We weren't anyway. We're not special enough. None of us wander around in Pokemon cosplay.
I was in Superman cosplay. You know that.
Only because you thought he was a Pokemon. But yeah, so you've seen Ant-Man and the Wasp this week as well, have you, Pork and Beans?
Well, I've seen it weeks ago. I see it when it came out.
Yeah, this week.
A release 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. It was good,
Very
wasn't
good.
Good.
Very good.
Yeah. I was a bit disappointed there was no actual wasps in it.
Why?
Nice, Kevin.
Well, because it's got wasp in the title. You'd expect to see at least one real wasp. There's dozens of ants all through the film, not a single wasp.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah, you've made the film unwatchable now.
But other than that, it was very good. I enjoyed it.
Yes. I'd say it's very good.
Of continuity, which I'll discuss later on.
Continuity?
Yeah, just timelines. I'm a little unhappy with timelines.
There's nothing wrong with it.
There is a little bit, but I can't talk about it without spoilers.
Okay, I'm interested to hear it now, so we'll
I
speak.
keep asking Kevin, like, what's happened?
No, okay, the spoiler-free version, in the Avengers movie, they said the reason he wasn't there is because he was under house arrest, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So you're telling me this movie happened at exactly the same time as the Avengers movie?
That's meant to be the joke.
Why couldn't it? I mean, people still got to exist, haven't they?
Well, he didn't even get a phone call while that was going on.
But he was under house arrest.
Because he's under house arrest, and they have a bit.
Yes, did it?
No, but the Avengers don't know he's snuck out, did they?
Wow.
And they probably knocked on his door, but he wasn't in. There was a giant ant in there instead of him.
Well, I would have liked to have seen that scene to put my mind at ease.
Sorry, Sam Jackson knocking on his door.
I was led to believe this took place before the Avengers movie.
It takes place,
but it must be happening at exactly the same time.
Similar time, I imagine. It takes place around maybe the week before.
Because throughout the first hour of this movie, I'm thinking, well, at some point he's going to do something wrong and have some time added onto his sentence so that he can miss the Avengers movie. And I wasn't really paying attention because I was waiting for him to go to court and have his sentence extended. So I don't really know what happened for the first 3/4 of this film because I was waiting for a legal problem to occur.
So I presume you saw the end credit scene.
Yeah.
Right. So that's how it links back in.
Spoiler.
No, right. So effectively, you don't know how far back that scene is there. Do you? You don't know how far on that scene is from there.
Exactly, which is my point. There's obviously, again, this is where it gets spoilery. They've had time to construct something, so it's not the next day. But his house arrest ended when the action was happening in this movie. So by the time the Avengers movie happened, his house arrest has been over for at least a week. How long does it take to build that thing? It's been at least a week. He's been available to go and join it with the Avengers, but he didn't. You're telling me they can't Google when his sentence ended? He should have been in the Avengers movie. Timelines are wrong.
It wasn't part of the joke that they don't actually care for him because his power is being an ant, so he's pretty rubbish, to be fair. And they only really wanted real heroes. Because they didn't really want Peter Parker involved in anything, did they? most of his role in the film was being told to go home. No, they're not a team, remember? Civil War happened. Get over it.
See, I was surprised that...
That's why people vet you in groups before they allow you into them. You don't pay attention. Sorry.
That was it. That was my review of Ant-Man and the Wasp. I was just angry with it, even though it was very good. But I'd like to watch the first half again without the distraction of expecting
I don't get
parole
you.
officer to turn
I
up.
don't get... you sat there anticipating, you can't concentrate, you can't watch the film, you're too busy in your head thinking something's coming that I know is coming and it doesn't come. So you
That is exactly what happened. That is how
you might have to your eyes shut.
This is why I don't watch movies.
My word.
So we did watch that sausage movie. You like that?
Oh yeah, it was excellent.
It was about food. He loves food.
Yeah, it was a little independent cartoon thing from like 4 years ago called Sausage that Anna found on Amazon Prime, and it's there's no words in it. It's just a little animation set to music of a man who's selling sausages and a woman across the park who's selling bakery products, baked goods, and all is good in the world. But then this man turns up. He's got a van where he can sell like nasty processed hot dogs, nasty processed sausages and nasty processed donuts, and almost puts them out of business. But then the sausage man and the bread woman come up with this idea to put the sausages in the bread, which makes I mean, this is a bit of a spoiler. That processed sausage man goes out of business, and they basically invent the hot dog in the space of a 6-minute movie. It was brilliant.
I've got a feeling
I've seen Sausage, everybody.
I don't know when I've seen it, but I've got a feeling I've seen that.
You should see it. If you haven't, even if you've seen it, you should go and see it again. Although I have spoiled it a little bit for you there. So give it 6 months. Write it down in your diary. 6 months from now, watch Sausage.
Just write the word sausage.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it for me this week. I've not watched or read anything else. You lot go about your business. I'm playing some Football Manager.
Okay. I have watched the movie Snowpiercer this week. Have you heard of this?
Sausages in it?
No, I don't think so. Don't think so.
What's it about?
Chris Evans is in it.
What, the
Radio
Captain
2
America.
presenter?
No, Captain America.
Oh, that one.
Yes. So the premise of Snowpiercer is there is this one huge long train that is carried all of the not the population, the existing population of Earth. Earth's the big freeze is on, and there is the entire world is like ice, and there is just one train that is just ploughing around the planet, just continuously. And
Why? Yeah.
Gotta.
I don't really get why.
Why can't the train just stop and they just stay in one place?
I think they have to keep moving because if you stand still, it'll just freeze over. So they've got a perpetual engine that just keeps turning over and it's kind of like generates its own electric or whatever it's doing to run. And Chris Evans is right at the very back of the train in like the paupers cabins, and they are treated horrendously, and they're given these like protein blocks. They're like jelly before you make it into a jelly. You know, like it's like a little block of little jelly cubes. Yeah,
I went
like
to
that.
school with someone who used to have a block of that in their lunchbox every day.
I used to eat that when I was at college.
It's weird. Why would you have jelly that hadn't been made into jelly yet?
Yeah, it's just weird.
She's probably diabetic.
Tasting.
Yeah, sugar.
You're probably diabetic.
What? So she had sugar-filled jelly every day for lunch?
Yeah.
I can understand having it as an emergency. You probably shouldn't eat a big block full of gelatin sugar for lunch every day. That's how you become diabetic. Maybe she aspired to be diabetic.
Maybe, but maybe she just needed to have that regular. This block will see her through to dinner time type jobby.
So anyway, Chris Evans at the back of the thing, and they are treated it's like slums. They are treated incredibly poorly, and they are planning a breakout to get to the front of the train. and then it's pretty much that is the entire premise of the movie, of them getting to the front of the train and getting through each carriage one at a time and seeing all these different carriages as they go through. It's a pretty good film. I kind of enjoyed it.
What's their end goal here? Why do they want to get to the front?
Because they want to get to the front and kill the guy who's running the whole.
Won't the train stop and then they all die?
No, because it's just a perpetual running engine. He just kind of sits at the front, chilling out.
I was hoping you'd say like the cafe cart was closing or something.
There's all sorts. There is that many different. This insane amount of different cars that are in there. There's like one that is just like a giant, like a greenhouse. There's one that's like like the aquarium thing at the Sea Life Centre. You know, where you go through the middle of you walk through the middle of like a tunnel in the middle of the Sea Life Centre. And you walk through and it's all around you. There's a train car with that like that.
Do they have green jelly in their lunchbox as well?
No, just at the minute. Well, the back ones only eat the protein.
So they probably could just eat the fish, couldn't they?
Well, that's what they do. They are grown. The fish are being breeded in that tank. There's like I say, a greenhouse tank, a greenhouse cart, and they want to get up to the front because, like I said, they're being treated badly, and kids keep getting taken from the back. And keep getting taken away and taken to the front. They don't know where they're going. They don't know what's going on. They disappear. So they go in to try and get these kids back as well.
Jelly cubes.
Well, you don't want to know what's in the protein bars, basically.
Spoilers, Kev.
It seems to me that they're obviously being given protein bars for a reason, Pab. If there was enough food to go around, they wouldn't have to have the protein bars. I think really this is irresponsible on Chris Evans's part.
Well, there's a whole reason why they have protein bars, and there's a whole thing that goes into it. I'm not going to spoil it. Sorry?
I spoiled sausage. You could spoil this.
I'm not spoiling it because it is a very good film and it's worth watching.
I bet more people go and seek out sausage than seek this out. Chris Evans.
If I'm honest with you, you will find it hard to find this film. It's not streaming anywhere. I've got I think it's a Dutch version of this film. It's all in Dutch on the back, I think. So,
buy it off of a guy in the pub.
No, I bought it off of eBay.
Interesting.
For a tenner, because it's not streaming anywhere. It's not available to buy on digital.
What's this film?
Chris Evans' Runaway Aquarium.
Snowpiercer. It's about 2013.
So what made you go looking for this?
Because I've heard it's very good. So I'd heard people talk about it when it came out, and I thought it's got to come to streaming at some point. It's not around anywhere. Like, it's not available. It didn't even come out to cinemas over here. It didn't come out anywhere. It came out in America.
Good.
No, I don't know why. I just don't understand why. I don't know if it's like a rights thing or what. I don't understand what it is, but it's just not available anywhere. But I managed to get a Blu-ray copy of it, and Blu-rays work on anything, don't they? They're international. So
they don't work
I watched
on
it.
My car CD player.
If you got a Blu-ray player in there,
or my VCR.
Said my car CD player, Pub.
Well, yours is a CD.
I don't
player,
actually know if my car CD player works. I've never tried it.
No?
You've opened a can of worms here, Pab.
Yeah, you made me realise I've never. I don't even know if
we're riding around with dud CD players here.
Mine could play Blu-rays for all I know.
Well, let's put one in.
Give him a go.
Perhaps send him your Chris Evans Big Breakfast Horror Train disc and
Runaway Aquarium, I think it was called.
Yeah, that one.
You're quite done. Sheepdog.
Should have called it Fish on a Train. It could have been a sequel to on the Plane.
Sheepdog.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about Preacher.
Oh, it's rubbish. It caused an argument in between me and Mrs. Sheepdog because she asked what we wanted to watch, and I said maybe we could watch Preacher, and she just sort of got really like, yeah, let's watch it, and then half an hour in, I was like, what's going on? Like, it's supposed to be about a road trip searching for God, and we're watching this weird sitcom in Tulip's mind where it's just rubbish.
Yeah, I do remember that now. I'll be honest with you, the season, it was a series finale this week, and it was kind of good. And this is the thing they do. They tee you up and slowly rev it up, and then to the end, they get to the end of the season.
But
and it's
people
really
get
good.
wise to it. This is just the Walking Dead trick. You can't just do one good episode a season and expect people to stick around.
Yeah, but I will. I will stick around for this.
I won't.
I remember saying that about The Walking Dead, and it got me in the end.
Oh yeah. I was just saying I stopped Walking Dead 3 seasons ago now. So
That's what I mean. If they keep just doing one good episode a season, thinking we're
but
just...
that's the thing, though. They're not bad. They're just not very good. They're just average.
I thought this one was pretty bad for the first episode back.
Some of them are worse than others, Sheepdog, and but there are glimpses. I said this last week. There are glimpses of the comic book in each episode, and that is just enough for me to keep watching. That's the annoying thing.
I'm kind of on a thing at the moment about wasting my time. I don't want to waste my time on stuff, and
play on thingy. Play on
this just felt like a massive insult.
Playing Pokemon with me.
Yeah, well, I don't consider that a waste of my time. I enjoy.
Sure.
I don't want to waste my time on things I don't enjoy. Was my point.
This is what he talks about in his private Pokemon group.
Are you done?
I was done 10 minutes ago. I'm just literally here to troll you both now.
No, I meant about my group.
What group? I thought it was a secret. You're the worst spy in the world.
It's not actually a secret. I don't want you to think you're not allowed in this group now.
I don't want to be in the group.
You are allowed in it.
I don't want to be in it. I've got my own group.
Woman's not allowed in it.
I'm going to go and hang out with the St Albans. Like, they're cool. They let me in. They let me walk around with them all day.
We've let you in.
I even got a free Ribena.
What? Did you really?
They were giving out Ribena in the street in St Albans. It's a ridiculous place. Halfway around this route, there was a man with a big fridge and loads of Ribenas just handing them out to people. I don't know if he was from Ribena. I don't know if he was the Pokemon Ribena man. All I know was I'm walking through St Albans town centre, filming B-roll with one hand, doing a raid with the other, and then somehow I need a third hand to put a bottle of Ribena in.
Well, I do wonder whether I should drive into Peterborough sometimes because they have competitions on. Whoever catches like the heaviest, whatever it was, the week where they vary the competition. But one week it was whoever caught the heaviest one. I think it was Blastoise. Won a whatever the prize was, and then whichever kid caught the lightest Squirtle won a plush toy. And I mean, it did cause a load of. I was reading through the record after. Caused World War III because the bloke who won turned out his kid hadn't actually come with him. He'd been playing on 2 phones. One of them was his kid's account, so he'd caught it. And they were like, well, it's not really caught by a kid, is it? And then it just... so that put me off wanting to be involved in it, but they do seem to do fun things where people bake stuff and bring stuff along and turn it into a big old party once a month. Whereas we just meet up and walk around town and stop at the shop for sweets and carry on walking. So you can join us for sweets, although, as I say...
This free sweets, like my free Ribena was.
Oh, if you're a good boy, I might let you have some sweets, yeah.
We could head to Anna's Co-op and get free coffee.
Can't have free coffee.
Why? There's a coffee machine right in the doorway.
It's mean it's free, Kevin.
Bet you lot drink it all day long.
Oh, yeah.
I watched Happy on Netflix this week. I'm halfway through it. Have any of you properly watched it?
I've not watched it.
Started watching it, didn't we, Anna?
Yes, again, Kevin, you just go outside and we never watch anything.
Doesn't ring any bells.
It's very good. It's very brutal. I kind of feel like I was saying to my colleague that seems like the sort of thing that made me want to watch it because I was like, oh, that's different. A guy solving a crime with the victim's imaginary friend. And it's sort of thing that made my mum and dad go, oh, Jesus, I'm not watching that. It sounds terrible. But actually, when you watch it, the imaginary friend is pretty peripheral. You know, they could easily not have the unicorn in it and it wouldn't be that different. Do you know what I mean? It's not intrusive in any way. Not integral to the story. They could tweak it slightly. I'm sure it probably becomes more integral later on, but I'm not belittling it either. I'm just saying it's not as reliant on that as I thought it would be. I kind of had an assumption in my head about what it would be like, and it's nothing like what I thought. It's very brutal. If you took it out, I think it would just be an angry, maniacal story. But it's, I don't know. I feel like anyone who's looked at it and thought that's ridiculous, it looks too silly for me, it's actually really good. And anyone who was hoping it would be as silly as it looked, it's not that silly at all. It's quite cool. I quite like it. It's got some very graphic stuff in it that my wife has basically said will haunt her for the rest of her life. There's a scene with a microwave that I kind of see how it would haunt her. I was unmoved by it, I guess, but that's because I'm a monster. She was kind of traumatized. I think it's just because I just thought, that's just trying to get a reaction out of people. That's the only time in it I felt like they were trying to get a reaction. It worked on her. For me, it just kind of made me sort of go, oh, bloody hell. Yeah, watch it. I recommend it. I forgot there was something I finished. I finished watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Glad that that's been renewed because they finished it on a cliffhanger. Not a major cliffhanger, but they finished it on a bit of a, they're not going to tell you the answer to a very basic question. And then I was reading on the internet, the bloke who wrote it was like, for as long as I'm a writer, for the rest of time, I am never, ever, ever ending a show on a cliffhanger ever again. Because if I'd known we were going to get cancelled after doing that, I wouldn't have done it. And it's quite funny reading his reaction because he's just like, I really shouldn't do that. And I'm glad because that's something that every TV show should probably stop doing. Cliffhangers suck. I'm trying to think what else I've watched now. I know what I made a mistake in the week. I put the TV on, and it was on. I guess it's BBC Two. I don't know, BBC something, maybe Channel 4, and it started up. There's a bloke sat on an aeroplane, and he's talking, and then it comes up. It sat on a vehicle. I can't remember exactly. It might have been a train. I don't know, whatever. And it comes up, bodyguard, and I thought, okay, why is this old film on? I'm not watching this. It's bloody Whitney Houston. So I turned over, and then all week everyone's been raving about this brand new drama called Bodyguard that I could have sat and watched, but I thought it was the film, so I turned it off. I was sat there thinking I don't remember it being Bodyguard being British. Just turned it off, thinking I don't really watch this. And then I had that bloody song stuck in my head all week. And tonight when I got back from the Pokemon raid, Mrs. Sheepdog was watching it, and that is ridiculously gripping. I almost postponed the podcast even further to find out what happened in the episode I was watching, because she sort of filled me on what was happening. We watched an episode, and then the next one had started, and we were midway through, and it was everything was going down on it, and I just thought, do I make them wait 10 minutes while I finish? But I thought, I'll catch up another time. But if anyone's made the same mistake, assuming it was film, because I'm just dumb, then it's not. But if you've heard it's good, it does seem blooming good. I'm hoping it's not finished because I wouldn't mind seeing what happens next. It seems like the sort of show that I mentioned this on Twitter. I don't know if you have this problem. It's definitely a problem in my house on a Saturday night. Casualty comes on and you watch like a minute of it, and then suddenly you've lost an hour of your life because you want to know what happens next. Nope. It seems like that kind of show, but it's just a short story. Casualty ruins me. Have you never had that? Casualty ruins my life every week.
Can't say as I've ever shown any interest in Casualty, little fair.
I dare you to watch 10 minutes of an episode tomorrow and not finish it.
I watch 10 minutes of lots of things and don't finish them.
Yeah, but I dare you to sit and engage with 10 minutes of this.
And engage with TV.
Just turn it off. You won't be able to do it.
I
was watching the other week. I wasn't even watching, actually. It was on. I was editing
a video.
I was editing a video.
It was just on while I was looking at it.
And I think you would have definitely been caught by this, because I was watching what I was doing, and it was a paramedic's first day on the job, and she was explaining to her boss that I can't remember whether she had Asperger's or autism or something along that, so on the spectrum in some way, shape or form. And she was trying to do the job of a paramedic, and the rules and the task and the job didn't align with the reality of the job, and she just couldn't decide how to behave in the situations because she was specifically following the rules she'd learned and know inside out, but it wasn't fitting with the humanity or the scenario or what the paramedics do or how they do it. And I watched maybe 10 minutes just because I was following it out the corner of my eye to know whether she sticks with it, whether she quits, what happens. And it was so good. I was just like, this is such a ridiculously good program. It has no business being this good. And then, yeah, we watched that. And then the next week, I wasn't the one who got caught up in it. Mrs. Sheepdog was. Same sort of thing. They just dangled you along with something. The woman stayed on as a paramedic. There was a great payoff where she basically said, I quit, I can't do it. And her boss just said to her, every day's rubbish in this job, just get on with it or whatever. Just kind of gave her this lecture. But it was good. It's a very good program. And as I say, I challenge you to not get hooked up in it because you would have done. And I've probably not done the justice of the story of what they said about this woman's difference, but it was very good. And I think you'd have liked it.
Yeah. That's still in it.
What, Charlie? I think his name.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. He might be. I don't know.
I might watch it then.
I don't watch it often enough to know. I don't know anyone's names. I've got like one or two characters now that I really like that paramedic. So if she's in it, that's what makes me want to watch it. But it's just ridiculous because you'll just see someone, I don't know, fall off a ladder and you'll be thinking, that didn't seem too serious. How's he going to die? You know, he only cut his thumb. How are they going to kill him? And it just hooks you in. But we do try and actively avoid it because it completely steals an hour a week of our lives. We need to just turn the telly off at that time of night.
You should. Everyone should turn the telly off at that time of night and have quiet reflection time.
Well, getting rid of the casualty new move to stop wasting time watching stuff that I'm not invested in, but I am invested in that, so it's a battle because I consider it lumped in there with the likes of EastEnders and Coronation Street, but it is pretty good. I kind of wish Doctor Who was that good. I think they should fire the Doctor Who writers and get the casualty writers to write it every week, because then it'd probably be the greatest program ever made. Casualty needs time travelers, basically.
I'm sure that's easy to do. Right. Comic books is another thing that is often talked about on this podcast.
Yes.
I haven't read any this week because I've been reading real books with words.
What book have you read?
I've read the last 3 Jack Reacher books that I was behind on. I didn't realise how far behind I'd fallen on these ones. And I
they killed him.
No. And I picked one up last weekend and just sat there on the sofa and read the entire thing because it was really good. So I got the next 2 as well, and I've read those as well. So I've just been reading real books with words. So I haven't had time for comics because I literally finished the 3rd one just after tea this evening.
I have finished Detective Comics. I'm up to speed on that. That felt very much like they made Batman's team go from like Batman and Robin and Batgirl and Batwoman to adding in like Clayface, Spoiler. There's like 4 or 5 other characters that are all in the Bat family. And then they've just basically gone, yeah, let's just get rid of them all. Let's just write a story about how we just... It's like someone just went, this is getting a bit too unwieldy, and cut it all back. And I don't know, it just feels like it's heading that way now. That there's lots of talk online about doing a Batman and Robin specific. See, I'm enjoying it, but it's like that. That sent me down a rabbit hole of reading. I was trying to find Justice League, ended up reading Justice League of America by mistake because I didn't pay attention to what I was getting. So Batman's, for some reason, due to events that happened in the Justice League comic that I've not read, Batman's now starting another Justice League that's only more mortal based. He's basically said that he doesn't want to have a Justice League full of gods. He wants to build a Justice League full of normal people. But then he's got Lobo in it, which I know he's an alien, but he's immortal, isn't he? And he's not that good. And Killer Frost and Black Canary. So it's all the kind of broken, dark, naughty people, bringing them all together for redemption. Which seems to be everything he's doing at the moment, because as I say, he's fighting with Clayface and Spoiler and people like that who are all slightly naughty and Orphan. And as real, and it's like they're all people that have killed people and done stuff they shouldn't have done. Batman just seems to be loving the old criminals at the moment. Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy. It does all seem to be building up to Sanctuary, that one that I mentioned the other week, where they're making the retreat for superheroes. So I'm quite excited because the more I read of the back catalogue, the more it feels like that is a proper event they're building up to, Sanctuary. It feels like it is a very big story that they're planning.
Splendid.
I think that's it all for what I've read. I've read a lot of Batman. Go on, Pab, it's on you.
Me. I've finished Descender Volume 2. I still very much enjoy Descender. This book went through pretty much the robot planet which they get taken to at the end of Volume 1. Tim 21, the little robot boy from Volume 1, who is like the key to the Harvester takeover, meets Tim 22, which is the next model on the line, sort of thing, on the production line, and I just really enjoy this book. It's cool, and because this is the last book I've got physically on this Volume 2. 3, 4, and 5 I've got on the iPad, so I've started reading 3 pretty much this evening. I've read like three issues already. I tell you what, it is very clean and crisp on the iPad, isn't it? What reading on digital?
Not on mine. My iPad's covered in food splash.
Is it?
Yeah.
But the pictures, everything seems like very like. It seems almost like HD to standard definition.
I like being able to zoom in if I want to, and
Yeah. I mean, like I say, it's going to be a problem next week when I'm having to read on my phone, probably, or I'm going to try to avoid as much as I can. But
on your phone, it's better because you can just treat it as a panel at a time.
Yeah, you can. But I like to look at when I've got the iPad Pro. It's just like the full page is there in front of you, and it's all like bright and shiny and like really nice looking artwork. So I've read I'm halfway into Volume 3 already, and Volume 3 seems to be like a backstory issue where it's like showing a number of characters like 10 years in the past. I think it's 7 years in the past, 3 years in the past, and like 6 months in the past or something like that, and present. And it's just doing that for the first 3 issues have like been 3 characters, but not like the main characters in the book. It's like been sort of like characters that you wouldn't expect it to be. Like they're like secondary characters, so it gives you a bit more of a backstory to the secondary characters in the actual book, which is really good because it fills out the world and gives me more backstory onto these characters that you don't really know much about up until now. So yeah, it's been good. I'm enjoying Descender. Jeff Lemire is superb for me. He's, like I say, the amount of work he does he's just non-stop churning books out. I know you know this is an old one, but he's just constantly just pumping books out all the time. So yeah, that is all I've read, and that's probably what I'll continue to read for the next week.
Splendid. Well, I believe that brings us to the end of this week's podcast. Anna, have you read any comics that you want to talk about?
No.
No, you sure?
Okay.
Well, in that case, we shall end the podcast. I'd mentioned the Twitter earlier on because you've probably all tweeted at us at this point to tell us you're coming to MGPX at EGX. But if you haven't done so yet, you can do that at MGUK Podcast. Or you can follow me on either Twitter or Instagram at Lelujo.
And I'm at RB6K.
I'm at Miss Lelujo, sorry.
And I'm at Pab1986.
There's also a Facebook page, facebook.com/MatureGamerPodcast. Or you can come and hang out on my YouTube channel, which is where the cool kids hang. I heard a little rumour that even Sheepdog has been watching my videos because he's a big fan. So if it's good enough for Sheepdog and his secret group of Pokemon people, it's good enough for
I realise it's not a group, it's a chat. It's different. It's not a group.
I don't even do chats. I can't. Yeah. I actually can't be involved in it.
No, I realised after all the conversation had died down, I thought, why did I say group? It's a chat anyway, and he wouldn't want to join it.
I can't join it. I don't do DMs on social media. We all know this to be true.
That's a good point.
Kev's
You need the
policy.
separate. That's why it's not in the group, because it's on a separate messenger app, and
Dirty.
that's a legitimate reason. But if you want to be in it, you are more than.
I'm not doing a messenger thing. That's how YouTubers end up in prison.
Watch me on YouTube at Sheepdog Says. Is that what I'm called on there? Sheepdog Says.
No one knows.
Yeah.
I want to get to 1,000 subs by this time next year. That's my New Year's Steve resolution plan. Because I was supposed to do it in 100 days and I massively failed.
Go subscribe to Sheepdog, everybody.
No one's listening now. I forgot about that. I should have said this at the start, really, shouldn't I?
Should have done.
I'm a fool.
Pab edit it in and put it in at the start.
Basically, need a New Year's Steve miracle.
Well, Pab could probably provide you.
Sheepdog, just give us your tagline again. Just say go subscribe to whatever, and I'll put it in for you.
I don't have a tagline.
Just say go subscribe to
Bald man
Sheepdog
in a
Says on
cupboard.
YouTube.
Your tagline, isn't it? Tagline. He's a bald man in a cupboard.
I can't deliver go and subscribe to Sheepdog Says on YouTube in a convincing enough way to make it sound catchy and make people go and do it.
Looking for a man in a cupboard talking about things? Have I got the YouTube channel for you? What's it called?
Sheepdog Says.
Or sometimes Sheepdog Says. He
depends
intros the videos two different ways. It's weird. It's the most... of all the things that disturb me about you talking into a camera, that's the most disturbing one. It's always a bit of a lottery. Oh, is it Sheepdog Says or Sheepdog Says today?
It
No
depends
one
how
knows.
formal I'm feeling or how serious a
Which
topic.
one's more formal?
Well, Sheepdog Says is more formal. Sheepdog Says is my chilled out, laid back, basically, I've taken my time off.
Now I know the
rolled up.
code. I can decide whether I want to proceed with a video based on how you've introed it. Then
I've stopped introing it like that though because it felt really
I knew that.
silly.
I watch it every day.
I now
Like
just
you should too.
jump straight in.
Nice. See you next week, boys and girls.
Have a good week.
Bye bye.
Thanks for listening, folks.